All right, so we are starting in a Shavasana position tonight. So your arms can be relaxed down alongside your body for now. If you would like any bolsters or blankets across your chest for grounding, you're welcome to do that. We're going to take a few moments just to begin to settle into our bodies. So begin to notice how you're feeling this evening. Maybe take a few moments to scan all the way from your head down to your toes. Begin to tune in to how you're feeling. You might notice if there's parts of your body that have a little bit of tension and might need a little bit of extra love tonight. You might also notice and celebrate if there's any parts of your body that feel particularly good tonight. Take a few moments and begin to pay attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your belly and chest. Perhaps notice the cool air in your nostrils. And decide if you would like to keep your breath exactly as it is, or if you would like to begin to lengthen your exhale, inviting relaxation into your body. As we move into this practice of yin, you might notice that some things are a little different than your other classes. So in yin, we're going to stay nice and low to the ground. So all of our positions will either be seated or laying down. And we're going to hold things for between 1 and 5 minutes for the most part. So it takes 1 to 2 minutes for our muscles to know that it's safe to begin to relax. And these longer supported holds, let those muscles begin to lengthen and stretch in a different way. And it also begins to get into those connective tissues that we often can't reach in our other yoga classes. So you might notice that some things are a little bit different. That's a good thing to become aware of and notice as you move through this class. Take about 3 more breaths coming into your body. You are welcome to stay exactly where you are, or you might begin to stretch your arms overhead, moving towards a full body stretch. You're welcome to press your fingertips into the wall if there's a wall available. And you might stretch entirely through the right side of your body for a moment, and then entirely through the left side. From here, keep your hips and shoulders on the floor. Move your wrists and ankles over to the right side, making the shape of a banana. If you would like a little more sensation, you might cross your left ankle over your right or grab your wrist. Know that you can always back out of these positions at any time. And if anything hurts, don't do it. We'll find some kind of modification so that you're not in pain. from here, notice the long side body stretch beginning to happen. When you're ready, slowly come back to center and move wrists and ankles to the left side. Use the sensations of that long side body stretch to stay present in your body. Take one more long breath and let it out. And from here, slowly come back to center. And then give your knees a hug in towards your chest. Maybe rock gently from side to side. Slowly bring your left foot to the floor and your right ankle across your left knee. You might use your right hand to press into your thigh to open your hip to the side. You might decide to keep your left foot on the floor or lift your foot off the floor, interlace your hands behind your thigh. Perhaps you begin to notice something happening in your hips. Take one more breath and let it out. And if your left foot is off of the floor, release it back down to the floor. Bring your arms out to the side like cactus arms. And let your feet fall over to the left side, moving to a side twist. If you do not enjoy this variation, you are welcome to uncross your knees to a more typical side body twist. Begin to notice where through your spine you're feeling this first twist. Take one more slow breath and let it out. And slowly unwind back to center. Uncross your feet if they're still crossed. Go ahead and give yourself another hug. Maybe rock back and forth a little bit. When you're ready, bring your right foot to the floor, left ankle over right knee, and maybe you gently press into your thigh to move your knee away, or perhaps you lift your right foot off of the floor to interlace your hands behind your thigh. Take one more breath and let it out. Release your right foot to the floor if it's lifted up. Arms come out to the side to cactus arms. and feet drop over to the right. Again, you're welcome to unwind if you prefer a different variation of a twist. You might choose to look over your left shoulder if that's comfortable for your neck. Perhaps you notice where in this twist you feel this in your spine on this side. Take one more breath and let it go. Slowly unwind back to center. Take a few breaths to either hug your knees into your chest or do any other movements you would like to do on your back body right now. Whenever you feel ready, slowly make your way towards a comfortable seat. You're welcome to sit up on a blanket if you would like a little more height for your hips. We're going to do a couple positions from here in your seat. But when you first arrive, take a moment or two just to readjust to be in a seated position. So perhaps you sit nice and tall. You might roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And give yourself a moment to settle in here. And when you're ready, you might begin to move towards our first longer hold for the evening. We're going to actually do a new position called Omega. So in this position, it's kind of like our butterfly. You're going to probably want your bolster, but our feet are much farther away from our body than they are in our butterfly position. You are welcome to have as much stacked up in front of you as you would like to make a nice little resting place for your head or torso. So get everything ready that you think you might want. Start with that nice tall spine. And then begin to fold forward, round your spine down. Your head can turn in either direction to find a rest on the blanket or bolster stack. Your hands can rest wherever they're comfortable. Take a moment to notice how you feel as you begin to settle into this position, so that you can also notice how you feel that might be different near the end. If your head does not reach the stack of blankets or bolsters, that's absolutely fine. Just find a way where you feel as comfortable as you can in this position so that you can stay here for several minutes. If your mind has drifted away, very gently, without judgment, bring it back to your body. Notice the sensations you're experiencing. Take about 3 more breaths here. And perhaps take that time to notice if anything feels just a little bit different now than when you started this position. One more slow breath and let it out. When you're ready, very gently begin to walk your hands to come back to an upright position. You can move that stack off to the side for a moment. Straighten both legs. Perhaps bring your hands behind you. Lean back and sway a little bit from side to side. And slowly come back up to center. Keep your left leg long. Bring your right foot up into your inner hip crease. So you notice in Vinyasa class, we work really hard to keep our toe pointed back towards our face. For Yin, you can relax that foot. Sit up nice and tall to start. When you're ready, begin to walk your hands forward. You're welcome to grab a block, bolster, or blanket to rest your head on, if that would feel comfortable for your body. Find a way that you feel supported and settle back in. Perhaps you begin to notice a stretch through your left leg or your hips, or perhaps somewhere else. Notice your breath in your body. Perhaps continue to lengthen that breath. Take about 3 more breaths here, exploring whatever sensations are happening right now. When you're ready, slowly begin to come back upright. Gently move over to the second side. Start sitting nice and tall. Walk your hands forward, round your spine down, and find that support for your head if you would like it. Take a moment to check in with yourself, noticing how your body feels. Perhaps noticing what's going on in your mind, if you're staying in the present moment, if your thoughts towards yourself are kind. Take about 3 more breaths, observing whatever's happening. When you're ready, gently come back upright. You might set your block to the side for a moment. This time as you bring your hands behind you, plant your feet on the floor, allow your feet to windshield wiper back and forth. Knees drop to each side, moving at whatever pace you would like to. Come back to center for one more forward fold. This time we'll stretch both legs out long. Keep a little bit of space in between your ankles. You're welcome to again grab any stack of props you would like to lay on top of your legs. Perhaps a bolster or a bolster and a block. Once you have your props arranged, start with that tall spine. Walk your hands forward, round your spine, and find a comfortable position for your head. It might be turned to either side, or you might find a way to rest the middle of your forehead on the blocks or blankets. Your hands can rest wherever they're comfortable. It might be wrapped around the props. It might be resting on the floor. And again, if your head does not meet your props, that's okay. You are welcome to just hang out there. If these longer holds begin to bother you in any way, you are always welcome to take a break, to come out of the position and find some other position that's better for your body. Do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself here. If your mind has drifted away, very gently, without judgment, bring it back to the present moment. Perhaps you notice your breath. Perhaps you stay grounded through the sensations in your body. Perhaps you listen to the music, if that's helpful for you in grounding. Take about 3 more long, slow breaths here. When you're ready, very gently begin to come back upright. You can set most of your props off to the side for now, but bring your blocks towards the front of the mat. And then come towards a tabletop position. If you would like a blanket under your knees for some extra padding, you're absolutely welcome to do that. Once you arrive, notice yourself grounding down to your hands, your knees, and your feet. And then take a couple rounds of cat and cow, allowing your belly to drop down as you look forward, and rounding, pulling your belly button towards your spine as you look down towards your knees. Do perhaps 3 to 5 rounds at your own pace. Once you've completed that, come back to a flat, neutral spine. Take a breath, let it out. Stretch your right leg out long behind you, toes pointed down. Bring your foot all the way across the left side of your body. Plant the ball mound of your foot on the floor. Then look over your left shoulder. See if you can find your foot with your gaze. You might shrug your right shoulder up towards your ear for a little bit more of a side body stretch. Perhaps you notice if this side body stretch feels any different than the ones you did at the very beginning of class. Take one more breath. And slowly straighten back out. Let your right leg come out long behind you. And then replace your knee on the floor. And stretch your left leg out long behind you. Bring it all the way across the right side of your body. Plant your toes. Look over your right shoulder and find your foot. Maybe you bring your left ear and shoulder together. Take one more breath and release it. Come slowly back to center, leg out long. Knee returns down to the floor. Curl your toes under if they're not already. Go ahead and sit back on your heels for a moment. Just circle out your wrists or your shoulders. Anything that needs to be released. And then come back towards that tabletop position. From here, take a big step forward with your right foot to bring your right foot between your hands. You might stay here. You might begin to lift up, bringing your hands to your knee, grabbing your blocks, or lifting your arms overhead. And allow your weight to sink forward, so your knee might come beyond your ankle. Stay here, or bring your left hand to your hip and tip to the side. Slowly reach both arms up if you're tipped. Bring your hands back down to frame your foot. And come back towards a tabletop position. Take a breath here and let it out. If you notice that you need some additional props, take a moment to grab them and get settled back in. And then take a step forward with your left foot coming between your hands. You might stay here. You might bring your hands to blocks or to your knee, or lift both arms overhead and then shift your weight forward. If If you decide partway through the position that you need a little more support, you are always welcome to adjust in a way so you have that. If you decide you would like a little more challenge, you can always adjust in that way. Decide if you would like to stay here or bring your right hand to your hip and tip. Another side body stretch. Take one more breath. Slowly come back to center. Bring your hands back to the floor. Come back towards that tabletop position. Walk your right hand over to the right. And this time as you step forward, bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So you have a couple choices here. You might keep your foot parallel to the long edge of the mat for a lizard lunge. You might turn your toes out to the side and allow your knee to drop out for a dragon lunge. Either way, once you've decided, shift your hips forward, come down to the floor or to blocks, or decide that you would like to stay with tall arms. So pick the variation that works best for your body tonight. Perhaps use your breath to settle in. Again, you're always welcome to move to a different variation or to completely come out of this at any time. Take a few more breaths here. If you're lower down, slowly come back to tall, straight arms. And begin to shift your weight back and return to tabletop position. And perhaps you move through a round or two of cat and cow. Mentally preparing yourself for the second side. When you feel ready, walk your left hand in towards the center. Take a big step to bring your left foot outside of your left hand. And decide again if you would like to keep your foot parallel or turn it out to the side. And then shift your weight forward and perhaps come down. So if your toes are parallel to the long edge of the mat, work to hug your knee into your body. If your foot is more at that 45-degree angle, you can let your knee drop out to the side. You might even come on to the outer edge of your left foot. I think the best classes is when everyone's doing something just a little bit different because that's what's right for their bodies. Take a few more long, slow breaths here. If you're on your elbows, come back to tall arms. Shift your weight back. Come back first to tabletop, and then lower all the way down to your belly. Turn your head to one side, use your hands for a pillow, and take a few breaths. Settle back into your body. Notice what's happening. Again, you are welcome to stay here as long as you would like, even if it's the rest of class. If you would like to experience some different sensations, you might begin to come up towards Sphinx. Bring your elbows just the tiniest bit forward of your shoulders, palms face down on the mat. We're going to do 3 rounds of back bends. This is our first round. We're going to hold each of them for about a minute. So that's 5 to 6 really long breaths. You might choose to look forward, or if you would like to lengthen more through the back of your neck, you might look down towards the floor. Take one more slow breath in. And as you let it out, let your palms come together, elbows come out to the side, lower down and turn your head to one side. You might wiggle your hips a little bit back and forth to release your lower back. When you're ready, come up first to that same Sphinx position. And then from there, decide if that's where you should be, or if you would like a little more, you might lift your elbows off of the floor. If this ever becomes too much, you're always welcome to drop back down to your elbows. Take one more long, slow breath. And as you exhale, bring your palms together, turn your face in the other direction. Perhaps this time you bend your knees and let your feet sway from side to side. Slowly lower your feet back down to the floor. You might choose for your third round to do either one of those 2 positions, or if you enjoy fingertip cobra, you might do that instead. So decide which you would like to do and lift up whenever you're ready. Again, remember you can always start in one position and then come down to something else. Almost there. One more long, slow breath. This time as you exhale, lower down, press back towards a child's form. Knees wide, toes come together. Your arms might stretch long on the mat or wrap around your body, whichever you prefer. Press down into that middle spot of your forehead to ground yourself back into your body. Once again, check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling. Check in with your thoughts. See if there's any way you can be just a little more gentle with yourself. Again, you're welcome to stay here as long as you would like, even if it's the rest of class, or you might slowly make your way back up towards a comfortable seat. From here, grab your stack of blankets or your bolster, whatever you have. And you're going to put it off the right side of your hip. So following the long edge of your mat. So we have a 90-degree angle from our thigh to our bolster. Your feet might either be with your knee in that little arch of your foot, or if you prefer, you could stack your knees. Either one is fine. From here, twist towards your bolsters or blankets. Slowly walk down, allow your belly and your chest to rest on the blanket. Turn your face in either direction, whatever's comfortable for your neck. Make sure your head is supported by something. So if it's not on the bolster and blankets, you might choose to put a block there. Perhaps again you notice where through your spine you feel this twist, and let it be there. Take one more long, slow breath. When you're ready, gently press into your hands to walk back up. And find your best way to move to the other side. Some people like to move their stack of bolsters and blankets. Some people like to just twist to the other direction. So do what works best for you, being aware of the people around you. And when you're ready, lower back down. Belly and chest resting. Face turns in either direction. Notice that you are fully supported here. Take about 3 more long, slow breaths here. When you're ready, very slowly and gently walk back up towards a seat. Set your bolster off to the side. Come down onto your back body. And decide if you would like a legs at the wall for your Shavasana. You can make your way there now. If you would like something else, you might come down to your back body. Take a few moments. Do anything else that your body would like. Any inversion that you would like to take, perhaps. If you would like to add any layers of clothing on for your final rest, this would be a wonderful time to do that. If you would like a blanket across your belly and chest, that can be very grounding. If you can't reach it, wave at me and I'll bring it to you. So take the time to make yourself completely comfortable in whichever position you've chosen. Notice that you are fully supported by the ground underneath you and perhaps the wall behind you. You might take one last moment to scan through your body and just notice how you feel. And when you're ready, take rest. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring awareness back into your body. Perhaps begin to wiggle fingers and toes or circle wrists and ankles. Perhaps bend your knees, placing them on the wall or the floor. Being aware of people and props around you, slowly begin to roll onto your right side body using your arm as a cushion. Take a breath or two here as we transition back. When you're ready, gently press yourself back up towards a comfortable seat. Moving nice and slow, taking your time. I like to end class with everyone taking one breath together. So we'll inhale as we bring our arms up. Palms come together. Exhale down to the center. Thank you all for taking the time to be here, to do something good for yourself, and for practicing staying present in our own bodies. The light in me bows to and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. A wonderful trip.